What's up YouTube, welcome to a video. In this video we are talking about how we can upload images to the Firebase storage, and by using the same method we can also upload videos and other stuff to the storage as well, and we will also save the link of the image after getting uploaded to the database, so we can get it back into our website. So let us begin. So go to the storage and create a new storage if you haven't already created. Select a location which is suitable for you, then click done. So here is the Firebase storage. You can manually update your files here as well. First of all, change the rules here, because the rules are set to if there is no authentication found, then it will not let you access the Firebase storage. So if you haven't set up the authentication, just change this to equals, then publish, and after that now we can access the Firebase storage. So now let's create our app. First of all, let's create a label which will be for, beside that, an input tag with an ID of name box, and after that a label which will contain the extension. So we will keep the extension and the name separate. After this, two BR tags, and then the image tag which will contain an ID of my image, and then a label for showing the progress of the image being uploaded, and then again two of the BRs. Then I need to create three buttons. Now I also need to add some style to the image. So if I open it, it will look like this. Now get the configuration from the project settings. You need a web app for this. So copy this complete CDN, paste it, and remove these lines. Now we need to import some more libraries to access the Firebase storage. So import from Firebase storage.js. The functions that I need is get storage, reference as reference. I am referring the reference function as reference because we have a reference function in the Firebase database. So to avoid ambiguity, I am referring the ref function as sref. And this type module is necessary for this configuration to work. Now some variables and references which are needed. So I will create a variable files which will be an array, and a reader which will have an object of file reader class. So this reader will be useful to read our file when we will be selecting our image. And I will be needing the name box and some other references. So after getting all the references, I will create an input element in my JavaScript, and this element will work in the background, and whenever we press the select button, it will open a file dialog that will allow the user to select an image, and then we can process the image later. So input dot type, it will be of the type file, and it will have an event of on change. So whenever a file is selected, it will do something. So I will assign it an arrow function e, which is the parameter, and then I will assign my files array e dot target dot files. So the file selected by the user. Then a new variable called extension, and here I will call a function get file name, which I will create later, and I will pass it an argument of the files but only the 0th index. This is because we will be able to select only one file, and because this e.target.files returns an array, that's why we are only using the 0th index of this array. Then another variable for the name. Then whatever name is extracted, I will assign it to my name box. So the name, and the extension will go inside the extension lab dot inner HTML. Then I will use the reader that we created, and there is a function reader dot read data as URL, and it will also take an argument of file's 0th index. So whenever the reader reads the file, we have to assign it to the image element, and for that I need to create an onload event on the reader, which will take a function which will change the source of the image to the reader result. So the reader will read the file as a URL, and then the result will go inside the image source and the image will get displayed. Now we have to create these two functions. So the first is the get file name, get file extension. It will take a file as an argument. So in the get file extension function, I have used these JavaScript built-in functions. And in the first line, I am saying file.name.split wherever there is dot. So the file name will get the complete file name including the extension, and we are splitting it wherever there is dots. So it will if the file name is like this, it will return us these array full of strings, and we only need the last index of this array. So we are saying that temp.slice take the length -1 and till the length. So this is the starting point and this is the ending point. So this temp.slice will return us with the last index of the element, which is png, but it is still an array. So temp.slice also returns a array. So this is why we are returning the dot plus extension, and we have to specify the index, which is 0. So it will return the extension with the dot. So dot png. So in the get file name function, I have used the same dot split function, but in the second line where there is written temp dot slice, in the arguments I have passed 0 and -1. The 0 indicates that I am starting from the start, and this negative number denotes that I am stating the index but from the last. So this -1 means that I am talking about the second last index. So from 0 to second last index. So this would be our result, and then the join function will return us a string. So it will join all of these, and between each of these it will put a dot. So after putting all the dots, the name will look like this, so without the extension. So now we can test this out. Refresh. Now when I select the image, the input element open the file dialog, then I can select an image, and you can see that it parsed the name of the image separately from the extension. So the extension cannot be changed, but the file name can be changed. Now we can begin the upload process. So for that I need to create an async function. Here I will create a variable image to upload, and that will be equals to files first index of the file. Then I will create another variable image name that will get the combined name of the image with its extension. We also need to create some metadata for our image. This step is not necessary, but it is better to provide the metadata. So here we specify the content type that we are trying to upload. So we can get the type from the image upload dot type. So there is a built-in property for that. Now we need the storage reference. So constant storage get storage, and then we need the reference. So storage ref equals to sref, and let's pass the storage and address of how we want to store our image. So it will go inside an images folder, and then the image name. So this name, a variable named upload task will be equals to the function upload bytes resumable. Then inside this we need to pass the storage reference plus the image to upload and its metadata. Then we can use the upload task on function that takes an argument of the state, so the state change, and then an arrow function, then an arrow function which takes a snapshot as an argument, and inside this on function there is a variable for progress equals to multiply the result by 100. So this formula is given on the Firebase documentation to calculate the percentage of the file uploaded. Then the progress lab will get updated. So inner HTML equals to upload plus progress plus the percentage symbol. We can also apply exceptional handling here. So if an error comes, So this arrow function will handle the error, alert, error, image not uploaded. But if the image is successfully uploaded, then a callback function which will get the URL, get download URL, which will take the argument of the upload task dot snapshot dot reference dot then inside the then another arrow function with the download URL that will save the downloaded URL into our database. So for now I'm just gonna print the URL to my console.log the downloaded URL. So up button dot on click equals to function equals to upload process. Now we can test this out. So refresh, select an image, press the upload button, and the image is uploaded. We can come to the Firebase storage, refresh. There is this image uploaded, and we can get the download URL from here, but we have the download URL printed in our console. So here is the download URL. If I press this, you can see the image loaded. So now we have to create a function which will upload this downloaded URL to the Firebase database. So for that I need functions from Firebase library. So coming up to the configuration, I need some functions from the Firebase Realtime database. So now let's create some function for the Firebase database. And I will create two variables here. Var name equals to namebox.value and var extension equals to extension lab.innerHTML. So I'm extracting the name and the extension and using the set function, then the reference function, and here I will pass the real DB and the location of the image, which will be images links folder plus the name. So the files will get saved with the name, so not the extension, only the name of the files. Now I have to pass an object. So the object will have image name property which will get saved on the Firebase, that will have, and it will have the name plus extension, while the image URL will have the URL. So this is the function to save the URL into the Firebase database. Now another function to get the data from the Firebase. So get URL from Realtime DB. And for that we only need the name, because we are only saving the name as the name of this object. So only the name of the file, and then the get function, and inside that a child function which will take the DB reference. I also need to create a DB reference. So var DB ref equals to reference of the real DB. So now I will pass this reference and the address, which is images, which is the same as this, dot then promise, and inside this an arrow function which will take the snapshot as an argument, and if the snapshot exists. Turn the my image source into the snapshot dot val dot image URL. So the same name as we have set in the property here. Now our both functions are complete. So the down button will activate the function to get the URL from the real-time DB and set it to the image. Now let's refresh this. Select an image. So let me select this image and press upload. So the image is uploaded. Refresh. So the image link is not here, but if I look inside the storage, images, the image is saved. So I can see the image here, but it is not uploaded to my real-time database, and the reason is that there is this error that this file name cannot contain these characters. So the file name contained these dot, that is why the file name is not saved. So what we can do to avoid this is, let's create a function validate name, and this will have a regex. So a regular expression that says it cannot contain dot or hash or this dollar symbol or the opening or closing bracket. So the opening or closing bracket. Then we can evaluate this by regex dot test, and we are testing the name box dot value. So whatever is written inside the name box, and actually this should return the opposite of the result, so the not operator. So if this result passes, then it means that uh, one of these character is found within the name box dot value. So this will return true, and this not operator will make it false. So the validate name will return false if one of these character is found within the name box dot value. So now we can apply this. So here when the file is getting uploaded, then return. So exit the function. If I press refresh, select this image and try to upload it, it will give me this error. And when I remove this from my name, then try to upload the image, it start getting uploaded. I can see that a folder is created, image links, and I have my image, and there is this image name and the image URL, and we will retrieve the image URL from this name. So we will not need the extension of the file. So let me copy this and try to retrieve this image from the Firebase database. So I will type the name and press the retrieve image, and it will retrieve my image from the Firebase to my image element. So this is all for the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel. See you next time.